anything?
Shut up! It's Daddy, you shithead! Where's my bourbon? Hello, this is MemeAnalysis, and today we're going to be talking about the Tradwife, the traditional wife who wears long dresses and skirts, who washes your dishes, who cooks your meals, takes care of you. But tell me, does this sound like your wife or your mother? And in truth, what's the difference? Where do we find the difference between the wife and the mother in this memetic fetish? Because make no mistake, the Tradwife is a fetish. It's a desire for something that is actually quite strange. Let's dig deeper. So, I've talked before about the Madonna horror complex, about the split between the woman who you sexually desire, who you degrade, and the woman who you elevate and see as wife material, as, the mother of your children. The Tradwife is meant to be some kind of combination of both, but of course, this doesn't happen. In fact, having read quite a bit about Tradwives in reality, the modern ones, of course, while there are always going to be people who are very traditional, who live an old-fashioned life, which is to say, a life where generally the women are at home. Not necessarily submissive, because oftentimes the woman at home is of course the one in control of the household. I think we have very bizarre visions of power as it was in the past, as it even exists at home. One only needs to read Freud to see how strange a house can be, regardless of outward appearances. But the modern Tradwife, the internet Tradwife, while meant to be an object of great sexual desire, and who often is if they are posted online, if they're an e-girl, a trad e-girl, they're getting lots of attention. But at home, their husbands are not having sex with them. What has been a repeated case is that, in fact, the husbands are bisexual or homosexual sadists, ultimately interested in tormenting women rather than a true romantic relationship. Give me a cigarette. Now, it's exactly in that vein of power dynamic that we find the young men who feel powerless, the young men who want power over women. They feel out of control. They feel as though they have nothing. Perhaps they don't even feel as if they have a mother, that they didn't have a strong father figure. They look to the past. But in fact, they look to a parody, a sexless parody of the past. And of course, they find it bitter. They find it empty. They find it meaningless. They don't find it sexy. I think it's very sad. Now, to go kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum, to go toward meaningful and sexy, we need only look to the way that we opened this video. Blue Velvet, David Lynch's Blue Velvet, wherein we find the same sadistic and schizophrenized split understanding of women, and in turn, the role that the masculine plays. We need only look to Frank Booth. Frank Booth, the psychotic madman, who in Dorothy Valens finds both mommy and a sex slave, subhuman, a sex enslaved female, So, he goes between saying, I'm baby. She'll say, hey, baby. But no, he's daddy right now. Or she'll say, daddy, no, it's baby right now. He's going in between. He's going between this desperate need for breasts, for the maternal woman, and between degrading, hitting, horrible violence against Dorothy. He's constantly going between them. And then, of course, later, not to spoil, but he also engages in homosexual sadism. So we find this exact desire for the Tradwife in Frank Booth. He takes this woman out of a marriage, out of a motherhood, and forces her to play this character for him, to play this Tradwife, while she is already, a woman of her own being. She already is a person, but he, to have control, needs to force her into a role, into a character. This is the nature of the memetic fetish. The memetic fetish is a role that, oddly enough, a lot of people will end up playing. We see it almost comically in the nun, or the French maid, or the nurse, or the teacher, or the schoolgirl. Those are, ye old memetic fetishes. But today, babe, I want you to dress up with the Tradwife dress, babe. Dress up like a Tradwife, or dress up like Pokimane. Dress up like Belle Delphine. They want to replicate what they see, or dress like Raven, dress like Starfire, dress like Wendy from the Addams Family, dress like Wednesday. Her name is not Wendy. Dress like Wednesday Addams, dress like whatever, dress goth, dress pop, dress slutty, dress modest. They want to replicate media or digital driven desires. They don't want the woman as such. In fact, now that I'm talking about it, I actually remember another case of it. Hopefully not too invasive, but there are people who will not have sex with their girlfriends unless they are dressed up as their favorite character. This is sick, perverted, and filthy. The most sick perversions, as imagined, that could be committed by two bodies are closer to God than any perversion that requires a costume. You are lying. You are making a mockery of the beauty of our human bodies. All joy arises from orgo. All joy arises from our bodies, not from memes, not from these ideas and these characters. This also brings me quickly to, I have a test. Real fans know this. Real fans have been on MemeAnalysis.com before it got redesigned. Took my fetish typology test. I talk about it in the porn addiction video, about what a sexuality looks like when it has been affected by media. And this is really the problem of the Tradwife, is what is the difference between a natural lifestyle and a memetic lifestyle, which is to say a fictional, generally sadistically imposed lifestyle. You cannot sadistically impose a lifestyle upon people. It must be naturally found. This is the nature of Confucian governmental power. To end it, perhaps on the ultimate joke, all sexual discourse online is projection. Everything that you hear people say about sex is a product of their own lifestyle. their own lived experience, or a repetition of somebody else's projections, if it's memetic at that point. So don't trust him. Go out and have an experience. See what works. See what you like, if you can. Vibe hard. And as always, remember, memes matter. Don't you fucking look at me.